What is a rotation? This is a question I've heard so many people asking. With this year's rotation being right around the corner, I thought it'd be the perfect time to make a video answering that question. Yo, what's up guys? Alien ESP here, back in a video. Hope you're doing well. As I said, as you can saw by the talent thumbnail of this video, this is the first video in my brand new series known as Pokemon TCG Masterclass, where I teach you guys how to become the very best like no one ever was. And in today's video, we're answering the commonly asked question, what is a rotation? In today's video, I go over everything. When is the next rotation? What does a rotation do? And how can we predict the future one? So without further ado, let's get right into it, baby. So, rotation. Rotation is something huge in the Pokemon trading card game scene, as it essentially decides what cards you and I can essentially use in the most popular Pokemon format, being the standard format. In today's video, I'm not going to go in detail about this standard and expanded format, the two most popular formats, because that is such a big topic. It'd length out this video and make it so much longer than it needs to be, and it deserves its own video, which will be coming in the coming days, so don't you guys worry. So, rotation. How often do we see a rotation take place? Rotation only takes place once a year, often in the August-September time of that year, to mark the start of the brand new competitive season, with this year's rotation taking place September 10th, 2021. But what happens during a rotation? When a rotation takes place prior to its release date of it taking place, Pokemon will announce the set it affects, and essentially the set it affects will essentially mean you cannot use cards from that set which haven't been reprinted in a future set in Pokemon standard play. A lot of people is confused, and why would Pokemon do that? Why would Pokemon limit the cards we can use in most tournaments? Basically, the point is it freshens up the game so much more, adding new strategies, for example, and also older cards may not work that well with brand new cards, and it makes the game a lot fresher and a lot smoother, with you only having to use cards with the same block which are made to use with the cards it has released around, and it really does work well. We often do see, to make our lives and Pokemon lives a whole lot easier, when a rotation takes place, instead of them announcing the odd card, they just remove the whole year. So with the rotation we are about to have on September 10th, Pokemon are making it illegal to use all cards from 2019. So Team Up, Unbroken Bonds, Unified Mind, Cosmic Eclipse, and Hidden Fates. You cannot use any cards from those sets. They just remove the whole entire year, as well as the all Sun and Moon promos released in that year also do become illegal within standard play. And we often do see rotation happen after the World Championships, because realistically Pokemon does not want to do a huge meta shift for the biggest tournament of the year, being the World Championships, because that could honestly mess up that tournament so much more. Imagine you have a super powerful card, but a couple days before the World Championships, Pokemon says, nope, you can't use that card. That big tournament you're planning to go to, you can't use this big card. Now, the rotation often does confuse a lot of people. Like, is this card still in standard? Pokemon don't really specify the card itself, only the set number it's from, as well as its promo number. So Pokemon introduced something brand new, being the Sword and Shield block, being the regulation mark. Now, you guys may have also heard the term regulation mark thrown around. So if you don't know what it is, I'll quickly give you the lowdown and how it will really help rotations going forward, especially next year's rotation. Crazy, I know, to be talking about next year's rotation. However, I want to let you guys know, so a week before that rotation, you're not all confused. And honestly, when I explain regulation marks really quickly, it'll be in your head easily, trust me. So regulation marks we saw introduced to the English cards of Sword and Shield base set, and it is put next to the either promo number or set list number of the card you are looking at. And for all cards and all promos released in year one of Sword and Shield, we saw the D regulation mark. So if you are taking a look at any of the cards that you received in year one of Sword and Shield, being Sword and Shield base, Rebel Clash, Darkness Ablaze, Champions Path, and Vivid Voltage, next to either their promo number or set list number, they will have the regulation mark D. Now, what does this mean? This essentially makes it a lot easier for Pokemon to announce future rotations, because when it comes to next year's rotation, instead of Pokemon saying, hey look, we're removing all cards from this set, they can just say, hey look, all cards with the D, the regulation mark D next to their set list number or promo number are no longer legal for tournament play, and it makes it a whole lot easier. And then we saw when year two of Sword and Shield rolled around, they changed that regulation mark to E, so that way in 2 years time, I know crazy to be thinking about it, when that rotation happens, happens, Pokemon will just say, hey look, all cards of the E regulation mark are no longer legal for standard play, and it honestly makes announcing rotations so much easier because you can just take a look at your cards, look next to their set list or promo number and be like, does that have the correct letter? If so, it's out, and it makes it a lot easier. But I quickly do want to mention the fact of reprints. We often do see older cards get reprinted in future sets with new artwork. The latest example of this would be Shining Fates. How does that affect reprints? Let's take a look at the Charizard VMAX from Darkness Blaze and Shining Fates. Since Charizard VMAX initially released within Darkness Blaze a year 1 Sword and Shield set, it is given the regulation mark D because it released in Sword and Shield year 1, which is correct, as it should rotate out with all cards of that set. However, we then saw plenty of cards, Charizard VMAX being one of those cards, reprinted in year 2 with a new artwork in the form of the Shining Fate set. How does that affect the card? A lot of you guys at home may be like, does it mean it's still in its 2-year gap, or since it's been reprinted in a future set, does its 2-year gap get extended by 1 year? No. If you take a look at a card which is reprinted in a future year, for example Charizard VMAX, if you take a look at the Charizard VMAX, the shiny Charizard VMAX from Shining Fate, it is still given the regulation mark D because its initial release within Sword and Shield year 1. This is essentially done so the lifespan of a card isn't extended anymore. I know Charizard VMAX may be a bad example because it isn't the most playable card. However, I chose it because I'm sure all of you guys out there are aware of it. Would be the chase card of the 3 sets it appears actually being Darkness Blaze, Champion's Path and Shining Fate. So if a card is reprinted in a future set, just because that future set is in another year, that does not extend that card's 2-year period within the standard format. However, if you take a look at Shining Fate, some of the brand new cards from Shining Fates, there aren't that many. It was mainly a reprint set, to be honest. So the example of a brand new card would be the regular rare Celebi. That card has the E regulation mark, and that makes total sense because that was a brand new card to the year 2 of Sword and Shield. I really do hope this video helped you when it comes to rotation. It can be a very complicated thing. I totally am aware of Pokemon banning certain cards essentially from standard format. However, if you are attached to certain cards and you love the way they play, there is always the expanded format, and I will do a video talking about the expanded format and how it differs to the standard format, and I'm sure you guys cannot wait for that. Let me know when you want to see that video up. If enough of you guys want it right now, I'll bring it up in the next coming days. If this is a brand new video you saw by me for the first time, we do a brand new high quality Pokemon TCG video every day except Sunday, and I really do hope this video and for comment question day, how will this year's rotation affect you? I know it is affecting me in a pretty big way of me playing Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, and now I'm unable to use my Gengar and Mimikyu GX. That is pretty of a hurtful one though. That is a powerful card in that deck which I do lose to rotation, but hey, we have to move on. We have to adapt our decks and our gameplay to this yearly rotation. And yes, I know it can be a bit frustrating when Pokemon removing certain cards, but realistically, I quite do. At the end of the day, I do like the rotation because it just freshens up the game so much more and makes it a lot smoother to run. And I would love to know your opinion on this year's rotation, and comment question days how it affects you. I would love to know how it is affecting the deck you're currently playing and decks going forward. That is all for me in today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm Alien ESP. You guys have been the best. I mean the best here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.